Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm Cami from Cami at Home, and I'm all about helping you take control of your life and live it on your terms, regardless of your financial situation. So this is going to be a 4-part series on the common mental blocks that could be holding you back from living your dream life. Today, we're going to talk about one of the biggest ones that I see, which is that your fear of change or fear of the unknown is what's holding you back from living your dream life. So it's common that we may want to make a change or live life on our terms. I mean, of course, who wouldn't want that, right? But then when we actually think about it or get to doing it, we start to feel fear. Now, it might manifest itself as questions. So, what ifs, like, what if something goes wrong? And what if I can't support myself? Or it might manifest itself as excuses, like, oh, I can't do that because of this thing or this responsibility or because my financial situation looks like this. And these are legitimate excuses and legitimate fears for sure. But these are still fears. Now, I'm not saying that fear is wrong, right? Like, our brains have developed this fear mechanism to protect us, to keep us safe, to keep us alive. So I'm not saying that fear is wrong, but sometimes our fears can hold us back from getting the life we want because our brain wants to keep everything the same as how it's been. How things currently are right now is safe. Clearly, it's safe or safe enough because we're still alive, breathing, eating, sleeping. We're still clothed and have our needs met or met enough. But it's just that our brain, to protect us, is adverse to changes because it doesn't know if change will make things worse, and it would rather not take that risk. But as I mentioned, many times our fear is holding us back and blocking us from living our dream life. Because there could be a lot of ways for us to make changes to improve our lives, even make changes to live our dream life. But we're afraid of making things worse. So I want to illustrate this by sharing a personal story with you from my family. So when I was growing up, my family made a lot of moves throughout the years. But despite that, my father does not like change, even if it'll benefit him. So, in one of these moves that my parents were considering, my parents had the opportunity to move to a home that was, kind of farther than what we were used to. But the following year, they would have had the opportunity to resell it for $1 million and make bank, like even after all of the fees. But remember how I mentioned that my dad doesn't like change? So because he doesn't like change, and I mean, to be fair, like he had some legitimate concerns about that property, but it is mainly because he doesn't like change. So because he doesn't like change, he has this fear of change and he can be overly cautious. His brain was finding him any and every excuse not to change things and not to make that move. And you want to know what happened with that house? Another family bought the home. They lived in it for a year. And then the following year, they sold it for $1 million. And back then, $1 million was worth like a lot more than it is now. Had my parents bought the home and sold it, it would have significantly improved their financial situation and in turn, the financial situation for the entire family. Whatever dream life that my parents had for themselves and for the family could have probably been achieved significantly earlier, but didn't because of the fear of change, because of that fear of the unknown. Because of fear, my father looked at all of the ways that things could have gone wrong instead of all of the ways that things could have gone right or what making that change would improve. And that held him back and held back the entire family. And I don't want that for you. right? Like, I don't want fear to be the thing that is holding you back from living the life that you want to live. So, now let's talk about how to get through this fear, or at least I'm going to talk about what I've done to help me work through that fear, and I'm going to hope that it helps you as well. So, I think the biggest thing that has helped me work through the fear or make changes in spite of fear is focusing on and thinking about all of the things that I would be gaining by making the change. Like, I would literally ask myself questions like, what would I gain from making this change? Or how would making this change improve my life? And then I'd write down all the answers. Now, doing this may not stop the fear completely, but focusing on all of the ways that things can go right and all of the ways that the change can work out for me and all of the things I'd be gaining from the change helps me internalize to my brain that it's okay. Like, yes, the fear is still there, but my brain starts to internalize that things will be okay and that even if I make the change, I'll still be safe. And I find that this really helps because it not only helps my brain calm down that fear, but it also helps my brain start focusing on the solution, to start focusing on all the ways that my dream life can happen, to start coming up with ideas that'll work for my situation to make my dream life happen for me. And this is literally something I did to get to my dream life now. In fact, I've made a bunch of really big changes in my life, whether it was switching jobs or industries or dating long distance or moving to another country that I've never lived in so I could be with my husband or moving to a province where I literally knew no one. It was just like me and him. I've even bought a home without seeing it first. Like, I've made a lot of really big changes in my life. And this is absolutely something that I did for those. And by focusing on all of the ways that things could go right or all of the things that I'd be gaining by making the change, my brain was able to focus on all of the ways that I could make that change work out for me. So I want us to practice this right now. And as you think about this, you can just leave your notes in the comments. So I want you to think about what your dream life is and recognize that you need to make some changes to get that life. And I want you to start thinking about, some of the things that might need to change. And then I want you to ask yourself 2 questions. Number 1, what will I gain if I get my dream life? And number 2, how will my life improve if I get my dream life? And then you can just, write all of that down, and just leave those thoughts in the comments. I would love to know what you're thinking. And I would really love to give you some encouragement to go after your dream. But if you're doing this and you do, or you are finding that the fear is still holding you back, or you're not sure about how to take the next steps towards living your dream life, I'd love to help. Sometimes all it takes is a little bit of clarity to get unstuck, and I'd be honored to help you with that in a clarity call. So what this is 30 minutes of time that we'll take together to dig into what's blocking you, help you gain clarity on the next steps, and start moving forward with confidence. So if you're interested in something like that, you can find a link to book the clarity call in the description, or I'll leave a link in the comments as well. So to summarize, thinking about all the ways that our lives will improve or all of the things that we will gain by making a change in our lives can really help us move through that fear of change and help us to start move forward toward our dream life. At least thinking this way helped me multiple times. So I'm hoping that this is something that will help you as well. So that's it. As always, let me know if you thought that this was helpful, because my entire goal with this channel is to empower you to live life on your terms. So I appreciate knowing if I'm actually doing that. And again, if you're feeling stuck or blocked with fears like this, I'd love to help you in a clarity call. So if you want to work together like that, you can just check the link in the description or the link in the comments. And if you've subscribed, whether from this video or in the past, also comment below and let me know, because I can't actually see who most of my subscribers are, and I'd love to personally welcome you to the channel. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.